Going on, fight fans? So Quillin versus Jacobs last night ends in the first round with Danny Jacobs scoring a first round knockout, TKO, whichever you want to. I guess it was a TKO. I haven't seen those. At least haven't seen one of those at this level of a fight in quite a long time, man. But the argument is to, I guess, whether or not Quillin was given a shot. Being that I don't know if there's a standing 8 count in New York. I don't think so, but. It looked when the ref got in between Jacobs and Quillin after Quillin was, kind of, on shaky legs. At that point, I thought he was going to give him a standing 8 count, but he looked at Quillin and just waved his hand. At first glance, I was like, what the hell, man? That was an early stoppage, right? Well, watching the fight again, I mean, it's on YouTube. I mean, it's only like a minute and a half long. When you see it transpiring and then knowing the outcome, I don't think it was that terrible of a stoppage. Now, I think if the fight would have gone on, I think Jacobs would have taken him out anyway. I mean, I think it was pretty clear that Quillin had taken enough, and at the same time, Quillin wasn't complaining at the same, after the bell or anything. So that leads me to believe that he wasn't necessarily that mad with the stoppage, but. For Danny Jacobs, man, I mean, you got to give him credit, considering what he's gone through. And even before he fought Pirog, where he was this highly touted middleweight, I mean, had a great amateur background and, gets stopped. Adding the whole thing with the story about him having cancer, and, they went in detail about it during the buildup of the fight. I mean, for the story itself, man, I mean, it's a great look for Danny Jacobs. I mean, I would think they're probably going to match him up with somebody like Arizlan Lar, which, I mean, that's a very interesting fight. But I don't know if anybody picked this up, but when they were, I guess, closing the telecast, they were making the hint, or they were basically saying how Danny Jacobs' knockout win over Peter Quillin is more than anything that Gennady Golovkin has been able to do. So, there's a little shot from Showtime to HBO, and, you know how that rolls. These guys, I don't see them fighting, meaning Triple G and Danny Jacobs. I mean, I think they're both on two different paths, even though Triple G is the super WBA champion. If that even makes a difference, whether or not people think if you think Golovkin would beat Triple G, I'm sorry, if Golovkin would beat Danny Jacobs, which, I mean, I'm on the boat that I think he would. But, needless to say, though, great win. I thought it was a good stoppage, after watching the fight again. It's not that long of a fight. But Peter Quillin, I don't know what happens. I mean, I don't know if he stays on 160 or if he moves to what they were saying, potentially to 168. And with Danny Jacobs, again, man, he maybe could fight the winner of Andy Lee versus Billy Joe Saunders. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. Both are working with DeBella, so I'm pretty sure they would put that on. I wouldn't say a primetime card. One of the main PBC on NBCs or Fox. There's a date I think in March that's available. That could be a fight. So, but. Congratulations to Danny Jacobs, man. An exciting minute and a half of boxing. So, follow us on Instagram, at Guard Your Girl Boxing, at Roberto_Flack, and tune in 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday night, for the GYGB Boxing Podcast. Until then, salute.